Pele, the king of football. Have you ever wondered how a poor little boy who couldn't even afford a real football became the greatest player the world has ever seen? How did a child from the streets of Brazil rise to become a global icon whose name is recognized in every corner of the world? Today, Sport City Channel brings you the incredible beginning of the life of the one and only Pele, the king of football. Pele was born as Edson Arantes do Nascimento on October 23, 1940, in the small Brazilian town of Três Corações, meaning Three Hearts. His father, João Ramos do Nascimento, popularly known as Dondinho, was a talented footballer whose career never reached the heights he dreamed of because of injuries. His mother, Celeste Arantes, worked tirelessly to keep the family together as they struggled with poverty. Life was incredibly difficult. There were days when the family barely had enough food to eat. Buying toys was a luxury they could never imagine, and owning a football was completely out of reach. But hardship did not stop young Edson from dreaming. Instead of giving up, he and his friends created footballs from rolled-up socks, old newspapers, rags, and strings. Those homemade balls became the tools that shaped one of the greatest football talents in history. Every dusty street became his stadium, every empty space became his training ground, and every kick brought him one step closer to destiny. As a child, Pele was affectionately called Dico by his family. The nickname Pele actually started as a joke among friends after he mispronounced the name of a goalkeeper called Bile. At first, he hated the nickname and even got into fights whenever someone called him Pele. Ironically, that same name would later become one of the most famous names in sporting history. When the family moved to Bauru, young Pele became obsessed with football. His father became his first coach, teaching him not only how to kick a ball but also how to respect the game. Dondinho believed his son possessed a gift that was even greater than his own. While other children played simply for fun, Pele played with an unusual determination that amazed everyone who watched him. To help his struggling family, Pele shined shoes and took on small jobs while continuing to play football his dream. Every challenge only made him stronger. Soon, local coaches began noticing something extraordinary. His speed, intelligence, balance, and ability to score goals were unlike anything they had seen in someone so young. One legendary former Brazilian international, Waldemar de Brito, was especially impressed. After watching the teenage Pele play, he confidently declared that this boy would one day become the greatest football player in the world. Many laughed at such a bold prediction, but history would prove him absolutely right. Pele arrived at Santos FC, one of Brazil's most respected football clubs. Waldemar de Brito personally introduced the young prodigy to the club and boldly told the officials, "This boy will become the greatest football player in the world." It sounded like an impossible claim, but Pele was about to make believers out of everyone. Life at Santos was a completely different world. Pele was now surrounded by older, stronger, and more experienced professional players. Many teenagers would have been intimidated, but not Pele. He trained harder than anyone else, eager to prove that he deserved his place. His speed, close control, powerful shooting, and natural understanding of the game quickly caught the attention of his coaches and teammates. In September 1956, Pele made his senior debut for Santos. He was only 15 years old, yet he scored a goal in his very first match. It was the perfect introduction to professional football and the first of many unforgettable moments. Fans immediately realized they were witnessing the arrival of a special talent. The following season, in 1957, Pele became a regular starter despite being only 16 years old. His performances were breathtaking. Week after week, he dazzled defenders with his dribbling, vision, and remarkable finishing ability. Before long, he finished the season as the top scorer in the São Paulo State Championship, an incredible achievement for someone so young. His outstanding performances could no longer be ignored. That same year, Pele received his first call-up to the Brazilian national team. Making your debut for Brazil is the dream of every young footballer, but Pele achieved it before his 17th birthday. Even more remarkably, he scored in his very first international match against Argentina, becoming one of Brazil's youngest ever goal scorers. Suddenly, newspapers across Brazil were talking about the teenage sensation. Supporters packed stadiums hoping to watch the young star perform. Every match seemed to produce another stunning goal, another brilliant dribble, or another unforgettable moment. Pele wasn't just winning matches, he was giving fans hope and excitement. But the biggest test of his young career was still ahead. In 1958, Brazil announced its squad for the FIFA World Cup in Sweden, and 17-year-old Pele was included. However, just before the tournament, disaster struck. Pele suffered a knee injury that cast serious doubt on whether he would even play. Many feared the teenage wonder would miss the biggest competition in world football. No one could have imagined that this injured teenager was only weeks away from producing one of the greatest World Cup performances in football history, a performance that would change not only his life, but also the history of the beautiful game forever. When Brazil arrived in Sweden, Pele was still recovering from a knee injury and missed the team's opening matches. Many wondered if the young star would even get the chance to play. But as he regained his fitness, Brazil's coaches decided it was time to unleash their teenage sensation. Pele made his World Cup debut against the Soviet Union, helping Brazil secure an important victory. Although he didn't score, his confidence, movement, and creativity immediately lifted the team's attack. Brazil looked stronger. Quarter-final against Wales. The match was tense, with both teams battling fiercely. For long periods, neither side could find a breakthrough. But in the second half, the 17-year-old produced a moment of magic. Pele controlled the ball brilliantly inside the penalty area, turned past a defender with incredible composure, and calmly slotted the ball into the net. That goal was historic. Had arrived. Next came the semi-final against France, led by the legendary Just Fontaine, one of the greatest goalscorers of his era. Many expected a closely contested match, but Pele stole the show. Displaying skill, intelligence, and deadly finishing, he scored an astonishing hat-trick, leading Brazil to a commanding 5-2 victory. At just 17 years old, he had become the youngest player ever to score a World Cup hat-trick. The final was against the host nation, Sweden, in front of thousands of passionate home supporters. Sweden struck first, and for a brief moment, Brazil's dreams seemed to be slipping away. But the Brazilians responded brilliantly. Pele delivered one of the most iconic performances, in one in which he brilliantly lifted the ball over a defender before firing it past the goalkeeper. His composure, imagination, and confidence amazed everyone watching. Brazil won the final 5-2. Only 17 years and 249 days old, became the youngest player ever to play in and score in a World Cup final, records that whelmed with emotion. He collapsed onto the pitch in tears as teammates rushed to embrace him. The boy who once played with a ball made of rags had reached the summit of world football. In just a few weeks, he had transformed from an unknown teenager into a global icon. His performances earned admiration from fans, opponents, and journalists across the world. The name Pele was now synonymous with brilliance, joy, and excellence. Brazil had discovered its greatest football hero, and the world had witnessed the birth of the King of Football. But this was only the beginning. After returning from Sweden as a national hero, Pele continued to shine for Santos FC. Year after year, he thrilled fans with breathtaking. Santos became one of the strongest club teams in the world, winning numerous Campeonato Paulista titles, the Copa Libertadores in 1962 and 1963, and the Intercontinental Cup in those same years by defeating some of Europe's best clubs. Wherever Santos traveled, stadiums were filled to capacity because people simply wanted to witness the magic of Pele. His influence reached far beyond Brazil. In many countries, friendly matches involving Santos attracted crowds larger than some international fixtures, full of hope, excellence, and the beauty of the game. The 1962 FIFA World Cup in Chile brought another triumph for Brazil. Although Pele suffered an injury early in the tournament and missed most of the matches, his teammates rose to the occasion, and Brazil successfully defended their title. Pele had now become a two-time World Cup champion. The 1966 World Cup in England, however, was one of the most painful moments of his career. Pele was repeatedly fouled by opponents, suffered injuries, and Brazil was eliminated in the group stage. Frustrated by the rough treatment he received, Pele even considered stepping away from the World Cup forever. But true champions never allow disappointment to define them. Pele returned stronger than ever for the 1970 FIFA World Cup in Mexico. By then, he was no longer just a gifted teenager. He was an experienced leader. Playing alongside stars such as Jairzinho, Tostao, Rivellino, and Carlos Alberto, Pele inspired what many football historians consider the greatest international team ever assembled. During the tournament, he scored memorable goals, created brilliant assists, and produced moments of pure genius. In the final against Italy, Pele opened the scoring with a towering header before helping create 2 more goals. Brazil won 4-1, lifting the World Cup for the 3rd time. With that victory, Pele achieved something no player has ever matched, winning 3 FIFA World Cups, 1958, 1962, and 1970. To this day, he remains the only player in history to win 3 men's FIFA World Cup titles. After years of unforgettable success with Santos, Pele briefly came out of retirement to play for the New York Cosmos in the United States. His arrival helped popularize football in North America, inspiring thousands of young players to fall in love with the sport. When he finally retired in 1977, Pele left behind astonishing numbers. He scored more than 1,000 career goals across official and exhibition matches, won countless trophies, and inspired generations of footballers. Legends such as Diego Maradona, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo Nazario, Ronaldinho, Zinedine Zidane, and many others have spoken with admiration for the man who helped make football the global game it is today. Off the pitch, Pele dedicated much of his life to humanitarian work and promoting football around the world. He served as a UNESCO Goodwill Ambassador and worked with organizations that supported children, education, and peace through sport. His smile, humility, and love for football made him respected not only as an athlete, but also as a global ambassador for humanity. On December 29, 2022, the football world stood still as Pele passed away at the age of 82 after battling illness. Tributes poured in from every continent. Stadiums observed moments of silence, fans held up banners bearing his name, and players, from the biggest superstars to young academy talents, paid tribute to the man who inspired them all. Although Pele is no longer with us, his legacy will never fade. Every time a child kicks a football on a dusty street with dreams of greatness, Pele's spirit lives on. Every breathtaking goal, every dazzling dribble, and every moment that reminds us why we love football carries a small piece of the legacy he created. Pele proved that your background does not determine your future. A boy who couldn't afford a real football became the greatest football icon the world had ever seen. His life teaches us that talent is important, but discipline, humility, hard work, perseverance, and belief in yourself are what truly create legends. The king may have left this world, but kings like Pele never truly die. They live forever in history, in memories, and in the hearts of football lovers across generations. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the life of Pele. If you enjoyed this biography, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Sports City channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring football story. Share this video with every football fan you know, because legends like Pele deserve to be remembered forever. Until next time, this is Sports City Channel, where football history comes alive.